It is Thursday, December the 1st, 2016. So I'm going to be checking this kind of randomly throughout the day. So right now it's about 8 a.m. and I think it's about 27 degrees. The sun's been up for a while. It looks like we've got some shading going on there in the center. I think that there's an electric pole over there that belongs to the neighbor. They're just on the other side of my old solar array. And that electric pole is casting, because it's early morning, it's casting a very long shadow. And that shadow is crossing the center of the array. And then also there on the right, let me see if I can zoom in just a bit without getting too crazy. The far two right panels, that would be on the east side, are also experiencing some shading, especially the very last panel. So here's the power meter. It does look like it is running backwards, kind of slowly. Now, I do know for a fact that my electric hot water heater is running, as well as the furnace, motor, and the refrigerator. So I've got some loads that are going on inside the house. Obviously, with the biggest one being the electric hot water heater, which takes plenty of juice. So now we'll look and see what the watt meter says on the array. Alright, so looking at the meter here in the or at the back of the array, it looks like it's putting out I guess roughly around 1300 watts, give or take a few. You know, and that will obviously continue to go up as the sun comes around. As I say, it's only about 8 o'clock in the morning, so the sun is at a pretty decent angle still. So right now it's, I think it's a little bit after 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. rather in the morning. And as we can see, the sun is out, meter's still running backwards. So the array is in full sunlight. So I'm going to have to, for some reason that's not showing up very well, so I'm going to shine the little light on it. The display seems to be having a little bit of an issue. It looks like it says 4350, but the display here on the watt meter seems like it's a little bit kind of dark, especially where the 4 is. The left end of it seems a little dark for whatever reason. But it does seem to be showing about 4,300 watts, as nearly as I can tell with me looking at it in person versus what it appears to be on the screen. Otherwise, the other side seems to be working okay. It's about 18 volts. I'm sorry, 18 amps rather, in the upper right corner. 249 volts. Alright, it's now about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it is actually, while I was gone, it's gotten cloudy. You can see that the meter is still running backwards, obviously at a bit slower rate than it was this morning in the direct sunlight. Okay, now that's interesting. The face of the meter, in the clip I recorded earlier this morning, the left side was kind of dark and it was almost impossible to read that first number. I guess now things have cooled off a little bit. I'm not exactly sure what happened, but in any case, it's more legible at this point, more back to normal. It's 1,000, about a consistent 1,000 watts. It's jumping around, maybe up to 1,100, but certainly it's a consistent 1,000 watts, it looks like, pretty much. So that's not bad. It's about, as I say, it's about, what did I say? It was about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it has gotten cloudy. So we can see, you know, those are the clouds. Of course, the sun now is off to the west, and it'll be setting probably within the next, I'm guessing, 2 to 2.5 hours. I'm not sure what time sunset is actually supposed to be, but it will be getting dark. Certainly within the next 2.5 hours, it's going to start to get really dark. All right, now if we check the temperatures, it's about the side of the box there, if I can get that to show up, is about 56 degrees. So I'd say that's probably the temperature. 60 degrees on the back of the panel. About, kind of depending on where I aim, 66 on this part of the surface of the inverter. But now if I, just kind of out of curiosity, I'm going to aim this at the meter, and you can see that meter reading is kind of high in a certain place. It's like 90, 80, 84. I saw 91 there at one point. Let me turn on the laser portion so I can see where I'm reading. 81, 70, 67, 66. Phone's kind of hard to hold with one hand and record video at the same time. So there's right there about 91, 90 degrees. So I wish I would have taken the temperature earlier when that the left side of the display there was kind of dark and unreadable, the LCD. Because I would imagine, I've got a hunch that it was reading a bit of a higher temperature. So I'll close this box up. Okay, the box is closed. Let's look at some other temperatures here. 61, 67 on the inverter. About 60 on the solar panel. Earlier today, when the sun was, this morning, they were reading about 100 degrees, the back of the panels. And so now they're much closer to the actual ambient temperature. And again, I think that's probably about 55 degrees, because that's aiming it right on one of the supports. But earlier, when I started recording the video this morning, I noticed that the actual meter reading, which I don't know if that means much, was showing 493, and now it's showing 470, and that happened just during the day today.